Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is important for sociology, research methods and legal studies. We are talking about tools of data collection and stages of data collection. These concepts are the backbone of research, no matter which field you study. Sociology, law, psychology, economics. You need to know how data is collected, why it's collected and what steps are involved. So let's break everything down. Let's start with what is data collection. Data collection means gathering information from different sources for research, analysis, and decision making. Now, data can be facts, behaviors, opinions, experiences, numbers, observations. Now, what is a good data? Good data equals to good research. And what is a wrong data? Wrong data equals to wrong conclusions. So choosing the right tools and steps is very important. Now what are the tools of data collection? In this video we'll cover the main tools. These are observation, interview, questionnaire, schedule, case study and sampling. Let's go through them one by one. Observation. Observation means watching people, events or situations directly to collect data. Now, what are the different types of observations? One is participant observation, in which researcher joins the group. For example, living in a village to study the village culture. Another is non-participant observation. That is, researcher watches from outside. The third type of observation is the controlled, which is done in a structured way. And the fourth is the uncontrolled observation, which happens in natural environment. What are the advantages of observation? It shows realistic behavior. Answers are realistic. It is useful for studying children, animals, crowds. It has its own limitations. It is time consuming. Observer bias possible. Next, let us move on to the next part of the data collection, which is the interview. Interview means talking to people to collect their views, experiences and opinions. There are four types of interviews. One is structured interview, in which the questions are fixed. In an unstructured interview, the conversation is free-flowing. Semi-structured interview is a mix of the structured and the unstructured interview. Then we have face-to-face, phone or online interviews. Let us look at the advantages of interview mode of data collection. It has deep information, clarification is possible, and it is good for discussing on sensitive topics. Its limitations are that it requires a trained interviewer and people may lie or hide information. The next mode of data collection is questionnaire. A questionnaire is a written list of questions given to respondents. Respondents fill it themselves. It can be printed or it can be an online questionnaire. It is mostly used for larger population. Now let us look at the four different types of questions. It could be a multi-choice question, yes-no type of question, Likert scale, that is either strongly agree or strongly disagree type of question, or an open-ended question. The advantages are that this type of mode of data collection, that is questionnaire, is cheap, quick and anonymous. Limitations involve low response rate and no chance to clarify doubts. Next mode of data collection is a schedule. A schedule looks like a questionnaire, but the researcher fills it in, not the respondent. It is used when respondents are illiterate or elderly. Researcher needs uniform interaction. The advantages are that it has high response rate and researcher can explain the questions. Limitations are that it requires time and money, and researcher may influence the answers. Now let us move on to the case study mode of data collection. Case study means studying one individual, group or situation in great depth. For example, a court case, a village, a school or a single person with unique problem. Advantages are that it is a very detailed form of data collection. It is useful for rare cases. It is not generalizable and very time consuming. Let us look at sampling. Sampling means selecting a small group from a large population to study. For example, you want to study 10,000 students. So you sample 500. Now what are the types of sampling? We have probability sampling. Here everyone has an equal chance. We have 4 types of sampling. Random sampling, in which names are picked up from the box randomly. We have systematic sampling, which means, as an example, every 10th person will be selected. Stratified sampling, that is dividing by categories, gender, class, etc. And we have cluster sampling, in which we select groups based on schools or villages, etc. Then we have non-probability sampling. Not everyone has equal chance. Here there is a convenience sampling. Whoever is easy to reach will be selected. Then we have purposive sampling. It is selected for specific traits. Quota sampling. Fixed number per group is selected. Snowball sampling. Finding people through referrals. It is useful for hidden populations. What are the advantages of sampling? It saves time, saves money. It is accurate if done properly. Limitations are that there could be sampling errors, bias in sampling, and it is not a perfect representation of the population. Now let us move on to the stages of data collection. These stages are very important. The stages of data collection involve conceptualizing the problem. First, the researcher identifies what is the problem, why is it important, and who is affected. For example, why is school dropout increasing in rural areas? This stage sets the direction. Second is laying down the hypothesis. A hypothesis is a guess or a prediction. For example, students drop out because of economic problems. Hypothesis helps in planning research. Third is defining the variables. Variables are the factors you study. For example, if the research is on dropout, the factors could be economic conditions, quality of school, family background, distance from the school. Clear variable definition means clear research. Choosing the tools of data collection. Researcher decides, should I do observation or interview? Should I go for questionnaire or schedule? What will be the sample size? Which sampling model will I use? Tools must match the research topic. Then there is phase of data collection. Now actual data is collected. Interviews conducted, questionnaires distributed, schedules are filled, observations are recorded, and samples are selected. This is the most active step. Then comes the next stage of data analysis. Here, the collected data is examined. For example, coding, tabulation, charts, graphs, statistical analysis, identifying patterns, interpreting results. Final conclusions are made. Was the hypothesis correct? What does the data tell us? So today we understood different tools of data collection involve observation, interview, questionnaire, schedule, case study, and sampling. Their uses, advantages, and limitations also we studied. And the complete process of data collection from defining the problem to analyzing the data. This topic is extremely important for exams and research skills. If this helped you, hit the like, share, and subscribe, and tell me which topic you want next. See you in the next video.